Are you considering a move to Bend, Oregon from California? Well, you're in luck because today in this video, we're going to give you some of the pros and some of the cons of living in Bend, Oregon. We're also, if you stick around to the end, going to interview a couple so you can get someone's true and honest opinions about their process when moving from Marin County to Bend, Oregon. And we're going to go ahead and get after that right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about eating, sleeping, playing, working, and living in and around Bend, Oregon, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button below, tap that bell for notifications, and we'll make sure to keep you up to date on all the current happenings in and around Bend, Oregon. My name is Joshua Grossman. I'm the leader of the Lifestyle and Bend team at eXp Realty, and we get calls, texts, emails, and Zoom requests every day from people like you, and you, looking to make their move to Bend, Oregon, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, go ahead, pick up that phone, give us a call, shoot us a text message, send us an email, or even sign up for a free Zoom consultation. All of our information is in the description below. So as I mentioned before, let's go ahead and jump into some of the pros and cons of moving from California to Bend, Oregon. All right, everyone. So today we're here with Erik and Sandra. Erik and Sandra bought a house from me, about a year and a half ago now, right?
Yeah, about a year and a half. Yeah.
That'll be 2 years in August.
Yeah, and so we bought it at the very, very height of things. It was a super fast and furious competition to buy their house, and they ended up turning it into a rental for a little bit while they were getting ready to move here. That's kind of what we want to talk about. We want to talk about, how you guys made your transition from moving from living in California to wanting to live in Bend. So one of the biggest things we hear is moving to Bend. We have all this in the outdoor recreational activity. We have hiking, we have biking. It's like, what's the difference from where you guys came from to where you're coming to?
Well, the Bay Area is a pretty attractive area, and we do love it here. I mean, there's lots to do, but it's very expensive. It's kind of crowded, and it's got a different feel to it. I mean, one of the things I would say about the motivation to move to Bend was we just fell in love with the people and the place. It was, such a great opportunity to, see something that's a little different. And I would also say that Bend offers so much in terms of not just outdoor activities, but there's a lot of cultural things that happen. There's the amphitheater, and just so many things to do that are a little bit different than what we're used to in the Bay Area. But I can just say I'm really looking forward to the transition.
Likewise. Yeah. I mean, for me, what drew me in was, I think it might have been the first time we were in Bend, but we happened upon some event going on in that park right there along the river. Drake Park, is that called?
Yep.
Drake Park, and there was a bunch of vendor booths out, and there was music getting set up. It was like Friday something or another.
Right.
And
yeah, it's called First Friday.
That's it, First Friday. And we were just kind of walking through going, oh, look, we're happening upon this really cool thing. And I didn't know what it was. So I stopped to talk to a vendor, and literally 45 minutes later, she's like my best friend. She was just so kind and welcoming and thoughtful, and, didn't, how should I say, she invited the conversation. And it was so heartwarming to me to feel connected to some place that I don't live, but we'd been looking around for places to move when our kids went off to college, which is now. And I'm very heart-centric, and it spoke to me on that level. Not to mention all the other things you've already said, us being outdoor enthusiasts and loving winter and summer and, new places to explore in the Pacific Northwest.
I think that's, that kind of keys in on what Bend's about. Like, there's a saying, and you guys have probably heard it, be nice, you're in Bend. And,
I hadn't heard that, but what I found interesting, Joshua, sorry to cut you off, is I think it's the visitor center, the visitor bureau has something on their website. Cause I went after we got home from that little vacation, I dove deep into what is Bend about. So I went to the visitor center to look at it. And there is some credo on there that's like, if you're coming to move here, or if you're coming to even visit here, sign this. sign, like electronically sign this. And it was like, you're going to be friendly to people. You're going to not honk your horn. You're going to stop at crosswalks, be kind. And I was like, oh my God, they're speaking to the people I want to be around.
Yeah, where do I sign?
Yep, that's
I
the
signed it.
that's the be nice and Ben credo. That is awesome. So what about pace of life? Like I've been to the Bay Area a lot, and I've obviously lived here for 23 years now. So a lot of people are moving from California, Washington, Texas, some of North Carolina, to get away from this large rat race, right? And so we have a lot of stuff. So what about the slower pace of life? Was that something that called you guys when you made your move?
Yeah, I think for me, the pace of life is definitely a consideration in terms of, again, motivation for a change, and finding a place like Bend really, I think, fits a lot of my sort of goals and desires around where I want to be for the next phase of my life. I do work in the tech sector, so the pace is pretty fast and furious. Fortunately, I am able to keep my job and work remotely. So overall, I think that some things will change. I mean, my job's going to be pretty much the same as it was. But if I have to travel, it's really easy to get over to the Redmond airport. And I'm not going into an office, but for sure the pace of life is different. It's almost like going to Europe on some level. Like it's a noticeable change, right? And there's just a different vibe, and I would say that's probably one of the most attractive things about Bend, because you mix it all together, and it's like very attractive. You can see why so many people want to live there.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I'm looking forward to having the time to enjoy some downtime, because having been a business owner for the past 22 years, and my daughter just turned 18, so raising a kid, and Eric's got two, all off to college, it creates a lot of the pace, between being a business owner and being a parent of teenagers and whatnot, and all that goes with that. It's like all of that, for me anyway, is going to be behind me to some degree, that I'm looking forward to just getting back in touch with me.
I
Then seems like the right pace for that, and the right vibe of people. And who knows, maybe I'll pick up my rock climbing again, because I used to be pretty avid prior to being a mother.
Well, as you know, we have a couple places that you can rock climb around here.
That is true.
I
look forward to exploring.
World famous. So
yeah. And for me, like, another big attraction is the skiing. Like, have Bachelor only 30 minutes away is, for me, huge. Like, where I just told myself, wherever I end up after the Bay Area, I have to be near skiing. And so
good skiing.
Yeah.
And we had an epic year this year, Eric. So
I saw
so much snow. Like, there's still snow on the mountains. Like, I think it's still running right now, and we're
on weekends and stuff. Yeah.
So
we keep an eye on the weather there, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's still snowing there.
It was like,
it wasn't until recently.
Strange weather. Like, we've had what I would consider, what I got used to over the last 23 years of living here. We had, it's been late. It snowed a lot. We had cold, but it was really, really needed. Like, Lake Shasta is completely full, and it hasn't been completely full in a long time. So we absolutely needed that. And it was super, super awesome. So, when you guys were shopping in and around, like, did you looked at other places besides Bend? Did you look at other mountain towns?
We talked about it, and for instance, I have family that lives in Park City, and considered that, but we also considered the lifestyle and didn't want to live in a quote unquote, resort.
Right.
I have good friends who live in the Sun Valley area, and that's become a lot that way as well, from what I understand. And so, there are outlying areas around there, but then you also take in I guess, political outlook is what you could call it, and, it's concerning, particularly for women these days. So I wanted to be careful about where we ended up. I have a friend who lives in Bozeman, Montana. That seemed very similar to Bend from the time that I visited there.
Yep.
The times that I visited there, I almost bought a home there many years ago. So Bend feels like more of that vibe.
Yeah, for sure. We are lucky that, well, it's kind of a curse and a positive at the same time, is we simply don't have the infrastructure to grow massive, which is good, which keeps our small town mountain vibe. But
Yeah.
with the onset of, after COVID, everyone figured out that you don't necessarily have to work in an office, right? And so I think we got voted one of the top remote places to work in the United States. A lot of our
Oh, nice.
clients are coming in here and doing that remote work thing and getting to live the lifestyle. So the culture of the town just continues to change. We get more diverse, more alts, more arts, more culture, like everything. So so it's definitely a great place. Like what were some of the cons? Like, it's not all unicorns and rainbows in Bend, Oregon, right? Like what is some of the negatives that you're going to miss about California? I mean, because living in the Bay Area where you guys live is absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. So, like what are some of the negatives?
I think that I've got a question mark. I don't know if it's a negative yet, but healthcare, doctors, retention of good doctors. I just had major surgery last summer. Well, I had a knee replacement.
Right.
It seems rather common these days, but mine was complicated and is still not completely healed. And I've actually made doctor's appointments down here for next year just because I need to make sure I have the right doctors, and I don't want to have to drive to Portland to see them. So that's maybe, I don't know if it is or not. I'll have to find out as we get there. That might be a potential question, con, if you will. I don't know. I haven't really, I'm a little nervous about driving in the weather because of my fear of sliding out and all that. We have a steep driveway and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to end up in our neighbor's living room one morning. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know yet. Ask me in a year.
Yeah, for sure.
So we live in Marin County, so it's like our backyard is basically the mountain. So it's very sort of undeveloped area, a lot of open space. So I think we're kind of trading one open space for another, but we do have proximity to San Francisco in the greater Bay Area. So like pretty much anything you want to do, you can do there. I mean, it's world-class town, some of the best restaurants, any music, professional sports teams, all of that is, just across the bridge.
Right.
So some of that we'll miss, but we'll just be driving for concerts, or maybe flying from time to time. And like I said, they have the big venue for the summer. Looks like they get some really good acts coming to the pavilion, and so I think it'll be fine. I mean, we'll there'll be a transitionary period, I'm sure.
Right. With some of the things, like we don't have the amenities that San Francisco does, obviously. But a lot of people move here because, like that's important to them, but not everything. But we are getting a lot more art, a lot more culture. The Hayden Amphitheater has a ton of different acts that come. I mean,
Yep.
And you can't float the river while watching a concert pretty much anywhere else.
Right.
Anywhere else in the world that I know of. So
Right.
Everyone always asks us, like, what's the negatives of moving there? And it's really hard to point out negatives of living here. Traffic, we don't have traffic compared near what you guys do. As soon as
certain times and places.
Yeah, sometimes in places, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's now 15-20 minutes to get across town now, whereas when I first moved here in early 2000, it was 5 minutes. And so for me specifically, living here a long time, that's become, a little bit, but we have roundabouts. A lot of people don't like roundabouts. So if you're not familiar with how to drive a roundabout, like watch some Google videos on it, watch some YouTube videos.
We've been there enough. Thankfully, we've kind of gotten it.
Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, like Erik and Sandra came to us. There's a question. How did you guys find us? And I know actually I reached out to you and that's how we got connected, but there was a time that you had reached out to us, and what did that look like for you guys? Like, why did you pick our agency over? There's 3,000 real estate agents in Bend, Oregon.
Are there really?
Can I answer a quick
Go ahead,
answer? Because I know you did. I'm going to tell you, we weren't looking at agencies; we were looking at people.
Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, I'm a real estate broker here. and have been since 93. And so I'm part of this, that whole community that can get generalized or whatnot. But I'm going to make a generalized statement. I'm not usually very hugely interested in residential agents. I have a little bit of I want to say, not a distrust, but some are more trustworthy than others.
Mhm.
And I have a sense about that just because I've been in the industry and I've bought homes and sold homes here as well. And it was kind of the same thing when I moved from with my husband from Southern California to Northern California. We looked at pictures of people that didn't look ostentatious. Or like looks like an honest person, looks like. So I would say for me, it was kind of the same thing. It was the vibe about you and your partner at the time that drew me in. I was like, oh, I feel that vibe. And that's, like I said, I operate from my heart center,
Right.
even for business. I mean, I've got a good business mind and all that. But when I connect with people, I connect first in my heart on some level. And
Right.
so that's where it was for me. I was like, I like these guys. They seem really genuine, and I have a pretty good BS, meter, and I don't see it going off.
Well, I
So
appreciate that. That's how I've always tried to do this business. I've been in this business, and I don't think quite as long as you have, but I'm not the the big blonde hair realtor like has a picture of me when I was, in 1910, like when I first got my license, right? Like this is me today, and and I love Bend, and it's an amazing place to live, raise kids, have family, retire. I just did a video on retiring in Bend. It's changing. It's absolutely changing, but in my opinion, it's changing for the better. We're getting a lot more, we're just getting a lot more of everything that we didn't have over the years, and now we're to that point where it's a much more well-rounded place, and that's what's exciting to me. You mentioned hospitals earlier, so I'll just give you a little bit of information. So St. Charles Health System is a level 2 trauma center. What that means is it's one step below a teaching hospital. It pretty much has everything that you can have done. We also have 2 helicopters that service Central Oregon. So if you need to go to Portland for a higher level of care and something that's traumatic or emergency, it's absolutely available. A lot of the ski team, the U.S. ski team's doctors work and live in Bend because of the same atmosphere that you guys described. The gentleman who worked on my on my ankle when I broke it is a world-class doctor, ankle doctor, right, for the U.S. ski team. So I was very, very comfortable. And in fact, when I had my choices, I was like, I want that guy. Like he works on the U.S. ski team. Like I'm not a professional athlete, so I wouldn't be worried about that. We have a ton of different providers around here, and they're all, very, very good. So as you get here and introduce those people, meet those people, you'll definitely see that is absolutely the case when you get here.
That's
excellent.
great.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, it is. We really do have. I mean, like what we have, like everything you guys just described, draws people that want to live here, and a lot of those people are physicians for sure. Erik and Sandra, I am super happy that you guys are finally moving into your house, and we can call you neighbors. And like Erik, you and I need to go mountain biking together for sure.
Absolutely.
And yeah. So when you guys get here, and if you need me to do anything, my number. Give me a call.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joshua. It's been great working with you, and thank you for all the help that you've provided us with the house. After the sale.
Absolutely. Well, that's the name of the game, right, Sandra? Like you don't just stop once the keys drop. Like
I mean,
going and making friends with people and helping people along the way.
it's about relationships, not transactions, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Joshua. It's been a pleasure.
Yes,
absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much for everything that you've done to make this a better experience for us.
I appreciate it, guys. So there you have it. A true and honest account of what it takes to move from California to Bend, Oregon, what they liked, what they were after, what they used as resources to find their way. We were thankful that we could be one of those resources, and we hope to be one of those resources for you too. So if you're looking for someone that knows this area forward, backward, inside out, I've been here for 24 years. I've raised 3 children. I know the ins and outs of Bend. I didn't just move here. I'm also a native Oregonian, so I just know a lot about the state. So if you're looking for someone to help you with your transition from California, whether because you're getting away from the rat race or you just want more peace, more laid back, whatever you're looking for, if you're a remote worker, if you want to invest, we have done it all and we will continue to do it all. And we hope that we can help you do it too. So until next time, we hope to see you around town soon.